A tsunami warning for American Samoa has been lifted after a powerful earthquake of magnitude 6.9 struck between American Samoa and Tonga. The earthquake struck on Sunday under the ocean about 270 kilometers south-southwest of Tafuna in American Samoa at a depth of 36 kilometers, according to the United States Geological Survey. The epicenter was about 110 kilometers north-northeast of Hihifo on Tonga. Greater than, based on all available data, there is no further tsunami threat to American Samoa from this earthquake, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center said. There were no immediate reports of damages or injuries, according to local media. In January, the Tonga Ha'apai volcano eruption triggered a tsunami that destroyed villages and resorts on Tonga in the same region and knocked out communications for the South Pacific nation of about 105,000 people. At least 3 people were killed. What causes earthquakes? To understand what causes quakes and volcanoes, we would first need to look at the tectonic plates, the massive, irregularly shaped slabs of rock which largely make up the Earth's crust. These plates, according to CNN, are moved constantly above the mantle, a layer of solid and molten rock below the Earth's crust, by the massive amounts of heat stored in the planet's interior. Now, island nations such as the Solomons, Indonesia, New Zealand and Vanuatu are situated on the west and southwest section of what's called the Ring of Fire, a 40,000 kilometers arc stretching from the edge of the Pacific Plate to smaller tectonic plates such as the Philippine Sea Plate, to other plates that line the edge of the Pacific Ocean. The tectonic plate's boundary goes around New Zealand, Fiji, the Solomon Islands, all the way up to Japan through to the west coast of the US and down to South America, Geoscience Australia senior duty seismologist Taja Pejic said. All of that is the Pacific Ring of Fire. It has earned that name because 90% of the world's seismicity is happening there along the various plates' edges. It's also home to 75% of Earth's active volcanoes, including Tonga's Tonga Ha'apai volcano, which produced the largest recorded eruption in January this year. Those volcanoes along the ring are often formed when one plate is shoved under another into the mantle through a process called subduction. And it also means large earthquakes, which can risk triggering tsunamis, occur in these subduction zones. Are we getting more quakes than normal? On November 21, an earthquake struck Indonesia's West Java, sparking a series of massive landslides which killed more than 270 people, with at least 40 more still missing under the mud, rubble and debris. Just a day later, 5,000 kilometers away, the Solomon Islands were hit by 2 quakes, the first at a massive 7.0 magnitude, which damaged buildings, brought down the roof of Australia's High Commission in the nation's capital Honiara and sparked initial tsunami fears. That came just hours after a magnitude 3.2 quake struck popular NSW tourist hotspot Bateman's Bay, only a month after a similar event rocked the small town of Mansfield in Victoria. On November 22 alone, the U.S. Geological Survey recorded 19 seismic events among Australia's island neighbours. The majority were aftershocks on the still shaking Solomons but also included a 5.0 magnitude quake south of Fiji and another 4.7 magnitude event off Indonesia. So are we getting more quakes than normal? To put it bluntly, no, according to both Pejic and Seismology Research Center chief scientist Adam Pascal. The frequency of this week's incidents could be seen as a little bit unusual, not unheard of, Pascal said. Instead, it was more a reflection of technological advancements and heightened emergency communication networks, which largely meant people were able to find out about seismic events almost as they happened, he said. The type of quakes occurring along the Sunda Plate at magnitude 5 or greater, like that which hit West Java on Monday, are being recorded daily, Pejic said. 5 for Java is a moderate magnitude earthquake, that's pretty common. 6 or 7 above we call large earthquakes, in purely seismic terms for the area. What occurred along the Sunda Trench this week was what Pejic described as business as usual. The feeling that I'm having now is we have the Java event, then the Solomon Islands event. This is where it gets picked out online, Pejic said. There's a sense there's much more going on that is unusual. That's not correct. So why has Australia escaped big quake consequences? To be clear, Australia has experienced major earthquakes, some even greater than the deadly 1989 Newcastle event. But it appears most of them have been in relatively unpopulated areas. Geoscience Australia currently puts the country's largest recorded earthquake at Tennant Creek in the Northern Territory, where it struck with an estimated magnitude of 6.6 in 1988. Fortunately, it hit in a sparsely populated area, only resulting in damage to a major gas pipeline. A magnitude 6.5 earthquake at Meckering in Western Australia in 1968 caused extensive damage to buildings and was felt over most of southern Western Australia. But our positioning in the center of the Indo-Australian plate could be one explanation why we are definitely not experiencing the same kind of quakes as countries such as Indonesia, which are on top of or near the edges of plates in the Ring of Fire. Geoscience Australia says that in the relatively stable interior of continents, away from plate boundaries, earthquakes are less common and do not follow easily recognizable patterns. These intraplate earthquakes generally originate at shallow depths, less than 20 kilometers, but can still be of large magnitude. We're in the middle of a plate. Seismicity is a bit more diffused, she said. Maybe we have fewer quakes. But we absolutely do get them, but subduction zones, along the edges, have the ability to make the largest quakes. With Reuters.